Okay, so just to reiterate the template ideas, it's going to be a link that takes you to some template ideas, and we'll talk about where you're going to use that content best in an ad. On the right side, this is a link that is specifically for an answers article, all the things of how to do paid ads. A little tiny background on our answers articles that we have at KW. So there is one individual, Paul Plansky, that really runs that entire division. And anytime we release a new feature in Command, they will actually go and create the step-by-step guide for agents and leadership in order to work the thing that they just released. So I always like to share this, not as a go get your answers there. There's not people at your office that can support you. That's not the message. However, this is very, very valuable to have when you are doing an ad on your own, when you are doing an ad on the weekend, when you don't have access to anybody on your market center leadership team. The answers article for paid ads is a true step-by-step of how to do the process. So again, we'll email you these links, but you will also have them right now if you wanted to scan them. So remainder of the time, we are going to go through the process of doing a paid ad in Command. So the first little portion is going to be really setting yourself up for success in order to get your paid ads running. The remainder of the time is going to be all of the actual posting of an ad. So as we'll kind of have stopping points if you have questions about how to do something. Again, because it's virtual, there could be less hands-on because I know you kind of are just focused on your screen. But we want to go back through and make sure that you remember the steps to get everything set up. So I am going to just escape out of this page. Maybe. Yes. Okay. And then I am going to go to, sorry, I'm letting people in as well. Okay. So agent.kw.com, you're like, wow, you look a little bit different than Chris Harper. Chris Harper is one of my real estate agents in Utah. Love him. He runs an awesome team. And so I like to use, he has given me permission to use his account as an example because a lot of you are on teams or associated with teams. I want you to be able to see the difference between a team experience and a single agent experience. They are not that much different. And yet I like to show you the example of a team so that you can see what that looks like if you're on a team. So first things first, there's a couple of ways to do this, but this is the way that I do it. If I go click on my name, and again, if I'm a single agent, there's not going to be this option down here to switch to a team. If you're a single agent, you're just going to go click settings. But for Chris's example, I want to advertise on the team level. So I'm going to go switch my account to a team account. And then I'm going to go and select settings. So some of this piece, because his account is already connected, some of this is going to feel conceptual, but I have seen enough teaching it 3 times over the last 2 weeks to kind of visually walk you through it. So once you get to settings down here under marketing automation, you'll have a section that says Facebook Ads Manager. And it will have a nice little alert flag that says ads managers have recently moved. To connect an account, follow the link to the paid ad settings. So you're going to go click that. And this will take you to the new paid ads platform. So yours will look different than mine because your account potentially is not already connected, your Facebook account. So if I went and clicked link a Facebook page and clicked continue with Facebook, What it is going to do is pop up a screen that looks like this. So if you are the rainmaker that is connecting this to your Facebook account, then you're good to go, right? Because you're in, I'm going to pick on Jake because I can see his picture first. So Jake is the rainmaker of his team. So he's coming in here. He went and clicked on link a Facebook page. When he clicked that, his Facebook account just popped up because it's probably already logged in the background on his desktop. So he would just click continue as Jake. So let's go back to the example of I'm in Chris's account helping him. I'm his executive admin, anything like that, right? So I'm going to get a pop-up that says my Facebook account. I obviously do not want to connect my Facebook account. I want to connect his. So if you're doing this on behalf of somebody else, they will need to give you their Facebook credentials, mainly because it has to be the person that's the administrator on the account. So I'll just repeat that piece. It has to be the person that's the administrator on the Facebook page. So as we get through this, let me know if there's any questions of that. So in this case, I would just click log into another account. I would get my Rainmaker's Facebook login to connect that, and then it would let me proceed through the next steps. This is the part where it's conceptual. I'm just going to walk you through what it says because my account is already set up. After you go and link the correct Facebook account, it's going to ask you something like, do you want to just opt into this account or to all future accounts? Really what that's telling you is you're just selecting, do I want to have the option of all business accounts that Kimber Walton creates, or do I just want this one? I always just select all. And the reason why is I have seen agents change their Facebook accounts, their pages, the names of them. If we've been in the business long enough, we've all gone through a rebrand. We started out as Kimber Walton Real Estate, and now we're like Homes, Love That Home. I don't know what said that for you, Carrie. We have fun names, right? We do a rebrand. So if you click all, then you know it's always going to give you the option to link future Facebook pages. The last step, again, we're talking conceptual because I can't show you the visual. The last step is it's just going to show you a bunch of green check marks. We're going to jump back over to command. I really screwed it up because I went into Facebook. So hold on. You guys are going through all those prompts right now. So I'm just going to open this back up. So once you're all connected, this page will pop up. It will look just like this, except for your page will just have a bunch of green check marks saying it's able to connect, it's able to connect. How you get that to go away is you can just jump over to another page. If you go back to Facebook pages, once you'll know your account is fully linked, it will look like this. It will have the name of your Facebook page. So Christopher Harper KW Realtors is his Facebook account. So that is what we've got here. And it says status linked. This basically tells me I am good to go on posting an ad. So that is the first thing. Honestly, the absolute first thing is you have to have a Facebook business page, but most agents already do. So if you don't have that, that is your true first step, creating a Facebook business page through Facebook. And then your next step is all of these, just getting your settings set up and linked. So then the exciting part, the paid ads experience really has improved. Previously, it was a little bit confusing. Sometimes things didn't make as intuitive sense. Now KW has really condensed the types of ads that you can do to make it a little bit more simple. So the first thing I want all of you to understand are these little highlights, the blue and the yellow. And I'm going to make my screen big again. Okay, so anything that has blue, which says includes Facebook lead form, those are meant to be lead generating ads. So I'm going to explain that. So you'll notice there's a little icon that says Facebook and Instagram on all of those. So what that would do is if I did that advertisement, anytime someone clicked on like learn more, immediately in front of their face would pop up a Facebook lead form, which it's already got their information in it. So if I went and clicked on an ad, it would already have my name, my phone number, and my email populated in the lead form. All I would need to do is click submit. And I always use the example of it's an online shopper's version of can I use Apple Pay or do I have to manually put in my card? Having some type of immediate way to make that payment to say, yes, I want to buy those things is always going to have a higher capture rate than, oh, I need to go downstairs to my purse and get my wallet and put that in, right? So all the info is already on there. They just have to click submit. So the likelihood of you getting a lead from that is high. The other ones, which are yellow, they say uses your your landing page lead form. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to get leads from those, but they are more of what we call traffic ads. So they are the intention there is you are getting more traffic to the place you land them on, whatever that is. So if you have a really robust website, you have a call to action on that site, maybe you set up a big client event and you have this like sign up to get tickets for my awesome client event, that you're going to get traffic to that page with this ad, but they will still have to go fill that out. In a lot of instances, that's okay. You just want the attention, the traffic. You want more people to be in your world. It's not necessarily always about the lead first. So that's the number one thing that if you understand, you'll be on the right foot to doing really good Facebook ads and just advertising in general through command, because you'll understand the intention on each of those ads. There's nothing worse than going, hey, like I really want to try to get a certain amount of leads out of every ad. I'm going to spend this much. And then you pick one of the traffic ads and really it's just landing them on your website. So there isn't that in your face, like, oh, I already had all my information in there. So now that we understand like the definition of those two types, then I really want to just dig in to specific types of ads so that we can walk through what this looks like. So it seems like for all these purple ones, they all look the exact same. They are a little bit different. So this one is a single image or video. If we're advertising a listing, this one has multi-images on one listing, and this one has multi-listings in one ad. Then this one is just a single image. We're just, again, posting an ad. That's where the content that we talked about earlier is probably going to come into play. So we're going to go and pick just a multi-image carousel listing as our first example. Okay, and then this is why we did this ahead of time. My Facebook page is already connected, so I'm already good there. The next section is any listings that I want to promote. So if I go click, please add my listing or add your listings, it's going to pull up a screen like this. So I need to pick what category I'm going to search, and then this is the search criteria. So one thing that I will tell you, easiest is always going to be searching by the listing agent. Names are usually pretty straightforward, especially if it's your own, because you know how to spell that. Address, you can get thrown off. In Utah, we have coordinates. So sometimes on the MLS, things just say W, and sometimes they say West spelled out. I searched one in a class the other day and I searched the word drive and the MLS had DR. And so it didn't pull up. So it's not that you won't find it that way, but it's just so much easier to just search by the listing agent's name and find a listing that way. So I'm going to pull up an actual listing. And I guess I could do like a little pause right here. Up until this point, did anyone encounter any questions that they had just following along while I pull up this listing? I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a KW listing, but we're just going to pull up this. Maybe that isn't the actual listing agent. I'm almost doing this as an example to show you how it can be a little bit. I'm trying to copy it verbatim on the MLS, but. Okay. Oh, it's off market. That's why. Okay. We're going to find a different one. But no questions up to now. Trying to think. I think of an agent. My office that I know has an active listing. Okay. So I am going to pull up this property and I'm going to go select it. And then I'm going to go click done. So what we'll first pull up on the left is just the basic information about the listing. We're going to get to how we're going to tweak that later. Targeting is our first section. So we can target by a location up to 15 miles. Limited, it starts at 15 miles for fair housing purposes. And you can also do a custom location, which would be based on postal code or city. And you can choose up to 10 locations. I have noticed personally, usually, again, Utah's, geography, usually picking listing location and a radius, I'm good to go. 15 miles covers a lot in our little bowl that we live in, but custom location, I'm probably going to use this in the sense of maybe I'm trying to target out of state buyers. I'm really targeting like a specific zip code or maybe a city. Again, it feels big, but at least I'm kind of targeting an area. I would use that more in that setting. That being said, there's a lot bigger metropolises than Salt Lake City, Utah. And so there could be ways that you're going to go use that just because it's better to put in a city than a radius. So that's an option to first start out with as far as targeting is concerned. This is the section that we want to think about a little bit differently when we go and do an ad. So as a listing agent, we have an objective. Usually, hopefully this is our objective when we are a listing agent, is we are going to sell the house. That is our job. That's what we've been hired to do. And if we're advertising our listing, doing a paid ad around it, or in the instance where we have permission to advertise someone else's listing, The goal of an ad is primarily to get more leads from that ad, right? We could be advertising like an open house, and there's obviously intention about getting more traffic to the open house, but at the end of the day, it all ends up in we're trying to get more leads. So because of that, we want to focus on the ad being structured around what's in it for the lead to give us their information. Why would they want to click on this? So I keep it how it populates as an example to say this house in South Jordan, Utah. If I just left it exactly as is, I am advertising the location, the price, the address. What I have done is give someone all the information they need to know if they need to click on that or not. The thing about me, though, is I am an agent that would love to work with people that are looking in different cities. I can help them if they're in a price range of 700,000. That doesn't hurt my feelings either. So if I am just specifically advertising a house in an area and a price range that is fixed, then I don't know if I'm doing as good of a job as capturing the lead, because I'm just being very specific about why you would want to give me this info. So I am going to change a body text to be more general and have more of a hook. So I'm going to go remove that. I do want to show you a couple of features that this has if you want to use it. So you can go and populate information from the listing just based on these little plus signs. So let's say I wanted to really get excited about what school district this was in. I could go click that and it's going to populate a code. So that's not going to be helpful. If I didn't know how many bedrooms this house had, I just click and it's going to tell me 4. So again, it's going to be more in an instance where you're advertising the listing that's not yours. But I use these just to know a little bit about the house. You can also click on those. This little magic magician wand is what I want to show you. So you can click suggest with AI and it will suggest text based on in the ads that I've done in the past, where it pulls from is your agent. I'm sorry, not your agent remarks, your public remarks in the MLS. So if I go click suggest with AI, most likely what it's going to do is just pull some type of narrative off of the MLS. And then I could change that to say, like, I want it to be more caring or more practical. If you all have used AI, like adding the information about the tone, things like that, are ways you can direct AI to give you text that's a little bit more of what you're looking for. So this just put out this beautiful, welcoming single-family home is a must-see. Enjoy the spacious 3,700 square foot of modern living space, complete with open floor plan and designer finishes, stainless steel appliances and extra storage closets. So really, I love it. And I'm going to get rid of information because I'm focused on that hook. So I like to give a little bit just of a description of the property. I like to highlight something that may be unique or just even exciting about it. Anytime, specifically in Salt Lake City, anytime there's something that has like a mother-in-law basement apartment, you're always going to include that in an ad because people think, oh, okay, well, I can have somebody help pay for the mortgage. Like that's a house I want to look at. So those are kind of things that you would want to add. But I'm trying to not give a lot of information. So I am going to probably just even take out that enjoy spacious modern living. And I know this is kind of boring, but I'm just going through my process. Enjoy this. And then I'm just going to say, this is usually my go-to, click learn more for additional photos, price, and info. Oh. Okay, I'm going to go click apply just to see what that looks like. It might look too long. I might want to reduce it. Okay, so first of all, what I would change about this, after I go and click apply, it says click learn more for, and then I have to go click see more. In some cases, I feel like that could be good in marketing and advertising. In this case, my call to action and my hook is the most important thing. And now I put a resistance of the see more button in between me and the most important thing. So to me personally, I need to shorten this so that they don't have to click see more. Because of that, I am going to go change this a little bit. Enjoy this modern home with open floor plan. And I'm going to see if that changed my, and then again, I'm just removing the filler words. I feel great about what I'm looking at right now. Last thing is emojis never hurt anybody. So like a cool little plant or a house or maybe both don't hurt. Okay. So you can go put those, or you don't have to put those, but those are things that I see people add. The other thing is address. I don't usually put on there because again, I don't really want to know them to know exactly where it is. Because then guess what they'll do? They don't need to give me my info. They know how to Google. They're going to go look it up and just find it on Zillow and see how much it is and look at all the pictures, right? So the headline I usually do is something very obvious, but a high value proposition that we have as real estate agents, which is we have access to unlock doors, right? So us just saying something like, come tour this home today, like we'll give you a tour today. That is it seems so obvious to us, but if someone was like, I really want to go and look at what that house looks like, we have the ability to do that. So I even usually sometimes put on the headline, come tour this home today, or let's set up a appointment to tour the home, obviously short and sweet. It's a headline, but I'm just going to put come tour this home today as a starting. And for some reason, those capitals are throwing me off. I'm going to change that. Okay. So next thing, we have the 5 photos that we uploaded to the MLS that populate first for the images. You noticed at the beginning, I selected a carousel, the multi-image. If I had just selected a single, it would just have one. One thing I want to note is that it will upload, or it will give you the option to easily select any of the first 20 photos. So let's say I don't really love image 2. I want to use image 20. If I go click this, it will populate all of the photos from the MLS. Sometimes, usually with these larger square footage homes, you're going to have well over 20 photos. So that is when you're going to use the upload custom image option. So the first 20 will be a quick link option. Again, usually agents upload photos in the order they want to be seen. And the headline photo right here is usually the #1 photo they want to use anyways. But if you have a different image you want to use, you can just go click upload image, select from media library, go upload your own photo. And if I wanted to just go back to selecting an image from the listing, I could do that as well. Okay, so we selected a lead ad So it is still going to capture their information at the beginning, but what is extremely important is where they're going to land after they click submit. So I have told the lead, click learn more to get more information. If you give me that information, I will give you all the photos you want to look at this house. You'll know exactly how much it is. Whatever you need, like I'm going to give it to you. So it is imperative that whatever I said I was going to do, that I do, just to not make the lead mad, right? So after they go and put in their information, it should land them directly where we told them they were going to go. So this is personally what I do. If I'm advertising a listing, I will go search for the property on my agent's site and then copy that exact link. So I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like. So if I go to this, and let's see if I have a decent memory. Slow down. I don't know if this was okay, perfect. Okay, so I have found the property on my agent site. So you see it says kimberwelton.kw.com. If you have a different IDX site, that's great too. I'm going to go and copy this listing exactly, or this URL, excuse me, exactly how it's written. And I'm going to go and paste it right here. The next rule is always make sure you click that preview URL. I actually had this happen in a training, but if you click preview URL, sometimes when we copy and paste things, it doesn't have the last two numbers, and then that link would be broken. And then that's another way we would kind of make the lead mad. So I always click that preview URL just to make sure that it worked exactly how it is. This is why it's important though, for it to be on your site, is that you've captured the lead. Now they're on your website and now they're just going to hang out there. Versus if I had said, hey, check out my new listing. It's 855,000. It's in this city. I would never have given that person that information if I wasn't in that criteria. Or if I'd created an amazing ad that had a good hook, but I didn't really land them on my site, then it's like, technically, what if I linked them to this listing on Zillow? Now they're just hanging out on Zillow. So this process that I've just walked through with you, it's very intentional about not only capturing their information, but keeping them in your world. So we're going to jump back over here. So this is different if you are not on a team, this little section. If you are on a team, this is exactly what it looks like. You have the option for lead routes, you have the option for tags and smart plans. If you're a single agent, you should just have options for smart plans and tags. So a couple of things I want to talk about with this. Sorry, I'm just quickly checking time. Okay, we're good. A couple of things I want to talk about with this. So there is not, if you had done paid ads in the past, this is something that you want to remember. Paid ads in the past, you had the ability to draft, meaning I could get through this and go, I need to go to lunch, and then save and then get back to it later. The new paid ads experience does not have that, primarily because people saving ads, duplicating them, Meta changes their rules and all of the things that they have like lumped into the system so much that was a primary root of a lot of frustration as far as ads going and getting actually sent, and if there weren't errors. So we don't currently have that option, and that's probably a good thing because that usually caused a lot of issues. So I probably should have said this at the beginning, but you want to just have you want to have the time that you're going to be posting the ad, because you won't be able to go back to it. I bring that up now because things like lead routes and smart plans, you're going to want to already have created before you go and do this, because lead generating is a very important part of this, but the follow-up is even more important. Capturing a lead costs a lot of money, and so you want to get the biggest ROI of that. And having a follow-up plan is a really good idea. Calling them once and then being like, oh, they're not interested. No. Online leads are usually the first time they raise their hand, of, hey, I'm looking at transacting in real estate, from when they actually do. There is a tiny amount of time that it's instantaneous, but most of the time you're on the journey with them 6 to 18 months. And so if you don't have a follow-up plan, even if it's just call reminders and maybe automatic texts, you are not maximizing the spend on your leads. So we're going to want to set up the smart plans that we have ahead of time. Lead routes, just to quickly kind of cover this. In our team settings, you can go set up a lead route. So for a single agent, you don't need a route, because you're like, hey, I'm Kimber. I'm on the Kimber Walton real estate team, which is me, myself, and I, right? I have all the leads. A team is going to be different, and it will also be based different on lead source. So I know a team locally where they have, for online leads, everything goes to an ISA. So they have a lead route that's specific for online leads. So they go into settings, set up a lead route that's, hey, every time, this is called the online leads or the Facebook leads route. And so every time they get a lead that fits in this criteria, it follows a certain route. So this team has gone up and set up a lead route ahead of time called Facebook lead. So every time a lead comes in on this ad I'm about to post, it's going to fall under that. You can also automatically tag any contacts that come in. Just know everything will be sourced. So you'll always be able to go, let's say you do Facebook ads for 6 months. At any given time, you'll be able to filter by lead source, Facebook ad lead, and find what leads you had. That being said, a lot of agents use tags to just tag leads as well. Sometimes they want to tag Facebook lead. So you can create the tag here. You don't actually have to go ahead of time. So let's say that I just wanted to like tag it as the word lead, but I don't have that as a tag in Command. I could just go click create as new tag. And I probably already have that as a tag. That's why it's telling me that. And then smart plans. So you can see these. If you go click that, you probably saw something completely different. What's popping up right now is all of the plans that this agent has downloaded from the library or that they've created themselves. So we have a plan. We're actually teaching on Wednesday, the 27th. I posted it in the Command Your Conversion and the KW Command group. On the 27th, we're teaching a virtual training where we're basically releasing a new 18-month follow-up plan that's specific or meant for online leads. And it's current to the market. So what you're seeing right now, this part 1, 2, and 3 that's already published, you are welcome to download it. And it was authored in February of 2022. So it has emails like, you're so smart to be thinking about buying right now. Obviously, it's never a bad time to buy real estate, but I don't know if I'd put you're so smart. I should say, and you would have been smarter 2 years ago. Just kidding. So that is coming out at the end of the month. So if you're like, I do not have any follow-up plans, I'm maybe thinking about starting this lead generation strategy in October, just know that there will be a new plan that we publish on September 27th. And you don't even have to come to the training. It will just be in the Smart Plan library. And then The last thing is compliance. So I have already done advertising with this agent. And so their DBA is already in here. So they can just go and select it. So the first time you'll have to go and download it, but upload it. But after that, it will be in your media library. And then include my ownership statement. So what this adds is each office is independently owned and operated, which is our ownership statement because we're all independently owned franchises. Or you can click don't include, depending on what your local compliance requires. And then last step is small little details, but they're important. Duration is the first thing. So duration is going to be how long I want this to run. For something like an open house, where you have an open house coming up, at least locally, it's not as much of a chaotic moment where we used to be like, oh my gosh, like there's going to be so many people out the door and it's going to be crazy. So I felt very reactive in the market that was 18 months ago. Now I feel like I can plan ahead a little bit, and there may be that I'm having 2 open houses or 3 before something's under contract. I'm not saying that's bad or good. I'm just saying whatever the market is, you make the most of it, right? So if I have time to have 3 open houses to get something under contract, that's 3 opportunities I have to generate more leads with that property that I'm listing. So if I'm advertising specifically like an open house, I know we just advertised a listing, but in an example of an open house, I'm going to try to post it on like a Tuesday because it's going to have 24 hours at least, at minimum, to have the ad reviewed and approved, just compliance with Meta, and then it will be live. So if I have a solid, let's say it's on Saturday, if I have a solid 3 days before the open house, I could get a lot of traction with that. Again, that would probably be more under the landing page one because I'm just trying to get traffic. Like, hey, do you know about this open house? Did you know we're having a taco truck? Did you know about this open house? Them coming to the open house, I've got a lead generation strategy or lead capture strategy at the open house. So I'm going to pick a traffic ad. In this example, we're going to advertise this listing, and I am going to usually do that about 10 days. I'm going to go to the 16th. Okay, so at a current budget of $50 and a daily spend will be at 5. Usually, as long as this green check mark is good, you are doing the amount that it suggests you'll get the maximum on. It will alert you when you're about below like $3.50 a day. So if I changed this to $25, that's weird. Usually it's because I did it a lot longer. That's weird. Why is it not giving me? Sorry, live issue. Okay, so usually it gives me that alert when it's right under $3 a day, but maybe it's because I made the duration longer. Use this as a guide because it's going to be based on the duration, not a set dollar amount. So I could tell you $3.50, but that may be based on like a 7-day average. This is going to be a little bit longer. This is almost 11 days. But what I personally do, this is like gospel according to Kimber. Anytime I do an ad, I'm usually just doing 50. And then billing, if you have your card, once you put it in here, it's already in here. You can go add a different one, but everything's just already good to go. And then you can just click purchase. And then I could go click purchase now. And then now the lead is good to go on there. So I'm going to show you an example. This is what pending looks like. Under listings, under the listings programs, any ads that I had previously run, They're all right here. So this was one that just finished that we had running. And the only thing I broke on my own rule was I kept the address in. But this is kind of the part about learning, right? As far as like learning what works, learning what doesn't for the ads. So on this one, I got 80 clicks and 10 leads. So it was more expensive than I would like. It was at $4.50 a lead. But potentially, I mean, none of those leads were Santa Claus. So I'm feeling like a little bit okay about it. And then I think it was this one. No. Oh, no, I went back. Sorry, don't go back. I think that this one was the one. Okay. So this was a good, like kind of a good bad example. So I did an ad that was just content focused. It wasn't listing focused. And I had ready to find your perfect home. Michelle, I saw your hand raised. I'll answer that in 1 second. So ready to find your perfect home, let our expert real estate agent team with 20 years experience guide you every step of the way. Start your journey today. There is not a strong call to action on that. So 950 people saw it and 7 people clicked on it and no one actually, I didn't tell them what to do or what they were going to get from it. So having no leads on that is not very surprising, right? So I learned from something like that to go, okay, if I'm going to do something that's content focused and I'm not advertising a listing, I have to be very intentional about my call to action. And that was an example of probably not being like that. Michelle, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had any other feedback on the results of the new campaigns, because I did a couple like in the spring and the summer, and I was getting, I would say like between 12 and 20 at least leads per campaign. And I'm in the middle of one right now that ends tomorrow, and I've only gotten 4. And it just doesn't let, because it doesn't let you, I feel like, choose all of those keywords like you used to in the old one, but maybe it's just this one off thing. But have you had any feedback on that?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think I'll show you the Google ads right now. As far as the Facebook ads, Meta's just changed how they do things a lot. So that could be a piece of it. And that's not really anything on our end. And I've seen agents that have done it straight through Facebook, which is very, very complicated. And get the same results. They think, okay, I'm going to do it through Meta because I feel like it's probably going to have a better result. And it's pretty similar. So I don't think the keywords, to answer the first part of your question, I don't think the keywords is necessarily what would correlate in that. I would just look at next time you, or even the past ones that you've done, like I can help you look at them and see if there's any like additional opportunity as far as refining like either the words or the imagery. But one of the things that you brought up as far as the keywords, so Google Ads is something that a lot of people have advertised in the past, or they've done in the past, but now you can do that through command. So I wanted to just show you one of them as an example, because I get that question a lot. I need to attract sellers and buyers, or how do I attract sellers?
Which are you finding are more effective, Facebook or Google?
Yeah, so I feel like with Facebook, the usual playbook on social media ads is you have a certain amount of budget you do every month. You have those follow-up plans, and the amount of, I guess you could say, leads, like the definition of actual leads, is going to be higher with Facebook and Instagram. As far as at the end of 6 months, you could go, there's 10 people that are on that I'm currently like at least in conversation with, or they're warm or hot, based on coming directly from that source. The difference though with Google ads is you are getting in front of the people that they have said that that's what they're looking for and interested in, but they didn't know that they did. So they didn't click on a house because let's be honest, sometimes people on Facebook, even though we just strategically crafted a beautiful message so that they'd give us their info, they just want to look at pictures of that $855,000 house. They don't want to actually buy that $855,000 house. The difference is with Google Word ads, and I'll just pull this up, is we are going to automatically, I'm going to pull up this answers article so you guys have a visual. We're going to automatically, without having to put in keywords, and this is where this is an improvement, Michelle, it will capture or cast this net based on not only what people are searching for, but anytime any of us click that accept cookies button, we're basically allowing into our world that people know what we're looking at and what we're attracted to. So, and I hate to say it, but we all know it, also what we're having conversations about. So in attract sellers, these are going to be the categories that automatically get targeted if we're running a Google ad. Things like people looking for a good real estate agent, an experienced real estate agent. I need an expert. I need to find one. I need a local one. I need a professional. I need an agent that sells houses near me. I need a top rated one. I need somebody to sell real estate for me. And then on the buyer side, even things like, I would love to live on a golf course homes for sale. I want to look at something that's new construction, right? Those are the nets that we're casting. And so with Google ads, those are going to show up in things like on someone's like on the flag when they're watching YouTube, or when they're just searching on like a news website, or when they're reading that weird article about like the Delta flight that something crazy happened. Like it's putting your name in front of them more often. So it's definitely a longer game, but it's a way to get in front of people more intentionally that have been looking at that. And I don't know why I use so many shopping examples, but you think about the stuff that I will search for, it follows me everywhere. And it's a lot about what I've clicked on, but it's also not about what I've clicked on. It's like what I'm watching on social media, like all of these things are tied highly together. Okay, we have like 3 more minutes, but I'm going to walk you through the rest of this Google ad just so you have an example of what that looks like. Because this one's a little bit more straightforward. You are not crafting the language. Google is like, we're taking it over. You're just telling us what areas, and we're going to target based on sellers and buyers. That's what you're doing. You're not selling like sweatshirts. You're a real estate agent selling houses. So we already gave you the list of words that we're going to target. You can add additional, but these are the ones that are already built in. And that was the list that I showed you. So let's say again that maybe I was targeting people. I've noticed or heard that there's a lot of people moving from one area in California to Utah, right? So like, I'm going to go look up that city. This is incorrect. No one moves from Newport Beach to Utah on purpose. Just kidding. But let's say I go click that. Okay. I'm going to go put in that city. So this is what the ad looks like. Like, it's just like, check out our trusted real estate agents. Like, it's going to put the keywords that apply most to them. Sell your home with our expert team. Again, they create the wording because they know people won't continue to pay for advertising if they don't get some type of traction. So it's their marketers putting you in front of who you need to be in front of. And then you're including a landing page because if they're interested, then it's going to go onto your site. So you're going to have more traffic If you have a website that you are proud of, meaning you're like, I've spent money on that thing, I love it, or I just it is my billboard. I look at websites as you can 100% live without a really fancy website as a real estate agent. And also if you choose to invest in a nice website, it's also simultaneously a billboard, because we live in a digital marketing space more than ever. And so if you put your website on there, all they're going to do is they're captured in the area that they were in, right? Because unless they're scrolling through social media and going, wow, I want to click at pictures of houses, which I'm not saying that's bad, but that's just the one scenario, versus they're where they already are. They're watching their podcasts on YouTube every day, and your name keeps popping up. And they just go, okay, well, what is this about? And they land on whatever said site is, then that's maybe where they start searching for houses. And then these additional keywords. So I was going to even add like golf course home, but golf course was on there, right? So just think of if you have really niche things that you wanted to include as keywords, or negative keywords, meaning you wanted to remove that from the group that was searched, you could add those as well. And all of that would be on here.
Do you recommend $50 an ad also for Google?
So Google is different. That is a great question. Google is different. I'm going to show you right now. I just need to put something in here so it goes to the next page. Okay. So Google is different in the sense of the minimum, it's a subscription, and the minimum subscription monthly is $250. So people are like, ugh. With Google, it is going to be a decision where you go, okay, I want to do this much a month in advertising with Google. This is how long I want to advertise. And then it's a traditional, if you're new to Keller Williams, MREA, red light, green light, going, okay, I want to commit 6 months at $250 a month to advertising on Google. And then red light and green lighting that expense for lead generating. And anyone that spent money on lead generating knows that in some level, you kind of have to play that game regardless of what aggregator it is. Because it's been 2 weeks and my business isn't like ringing, my phone isn't ringing off the hook. That's not necessarily, what you're doing. You're looking at it more as a long game, like 3 to 6 months, knowing that it's going to have a higher, exposure to you, but it may feel more indirect. And 7 days. So let's say I started this today and it's 9/7. So next month, if I was like, I think I probably started Google Ads too early, I need to stop that. And I'm going to start that at the beginning of the year. I would just need to, by the 1st, because it's 7 days prior to the next month. I would just need to come in here and cancel it so that it didn't get charged for the next month. So it's a very like, you can stop whenever. You're not like signing a thing that's a 12-month minimum. We've all done that too.
So if I do the $250 a month, do I have to do the ads every month, or I have to do different ads every week?
You say I'm doing $250 a month. I want it in and attract sellers. Here's my landing page, and you don't have to do anything.
It will do it for the next 6 months until I stop.
Until I click stop. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is why, because to me, any of these little numbers are a decent amount. I am going to heavily tie that to when I started, have a stopping point of evaluation and red light, green light, what that looks like for me. And if I'm going to continue that. But it is traditionally Google search ads, there's a reason they're more expensive. Because they don't just find people in a specific arena. They are more targeted to who you're looking for, is the simple way to put it. Okay, so sorry, I looked and we're a little bit over, but quickly summarize. So now that I am back on, I'm gonna go back to command, just the landing page. And if you need to jump off, please do. Sorry, I wanna go, because I wanna show you how to navigate this from the other end. So if you go just to campaigns, and now you're in paid ads. As it loads. I broke it. Okay. Paid ads is its own platform. So what these three videos, I just want to point out, the far left is just an agent that's done high level digital lead gen through command, talking about converting internet leads. It's just a fun little video to watch. David Voorhees interviews Tyler Shields. This middle one is Facebook and Instagram paid ads. This is kind of that setup video. So all those little setting things that we walked through at the beginning, and a lot of those I didn't have visuals for. This will help you visualize how to set up for success, like making sure your account's linked and all of that. This video summarizes what we went over as far as what ads are what types, including which ones are lead ads and which ones are traffic ads. So that kind of summarizes that. So really, if you had to truly summarize this class, these videos should help you. And then as far as how I get to the new paid ads experience, I know we accessed it through settings. You can also just go click through any of these. So if I have a listing ad, I can just go click that and it'll take me straight to my list of listing ads that I have going. And then again, clicking on any of the ads that I have or that I've done in the past, I can scroll down and see all of my leads associated with that ad. And they'll also be in my contacts in command, which is another benefit to make sure that you do your ads through command and not through Meta, because then you'll just have a data set outside of command that's not automatically following up with people and not in your CRM, which is where you want all your contacts to be. Okay, any other questions before we end? Okay, for those of you that are on the call, I'll send an email just with those two links that we started at the beginning with the content and the answers article, and then we'll also send the recording to you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Kimber.
You're welcome.